Since the United States military innovated to move assets by air, airmen have been involved to do it bigger, better, faster, and safer in peacetime and war. The air transportation specialists, known better as Port Dawgs, have been a key asset in developing and delivering rapid global mobility by ensuring cargo and passengers were properly manifested and loaded for any mission from humanitarian to combat support. The Berlin airlift demanded experts develop first-ever processes to load and move more than 2.3 million tons of humanitarian relief supplies on nearly 300,000 missions, while averaging an aircraft arrival every 30 to 90 seconds. Additionally, 277,000 passengers were processed and carried in and out of the beleaguered city. Their Herculean effort provided vital supplies to the 2.8 million people of Berlin, isolated by the Soviet blockade. The airlift secured the first victory in the Cold War. Less than a decade later, during the Korean conflict, Lieutenant General William H. Tunner, architect of the Berlin airlift, insisted he could not guarantee airlift capabilities unless he controlled the loading and unloading of his air transport planes. This doctrinal shift established several small detachments throughout Korea manned with air transportation professionals who oversaw the handling of 210,000 missions that moved more than 390,000 tons of material, airdropped 18,000 tons of supplies, and transported more than 2 million passengers. During the Vietnam War, Port Dawgs continued to impress and innovate to move more than 33,000 passengers and 140,000 tons of cargo each month from stateside and Pacific area bases. As mobility aircraft capabilities increased, so too did the air transportation communities evolve to meet the new requirement. In the early 1980s, air transportation leaders established commercial gateways at civilian international airports across the United States. Manned by air transport specialists, the gateways streamlined the movement of DoD passengers traveling for official business. The 1990s started with the invasion of Kuwait and Operations Desert Shield and Storm. The U.S. airlifted over 482,000 passengers and 513,000 tons of cargo in support of U.S. CENTCOM. But a problem existed in locating cargo en route and in theater, resulting in large iron mountains of cargo in shipping containers. Once this shortfall was identified, air transportation specialists were instrumental in the design and creation of today's in-transit visibility systems, such as GTN and gates, that provide valuable cargo insight to the joint warfighter. More recently, they contributed to the development of material handling equipment, including the 60K Tunner and the 25K Halverson loaders. Both vehicles are versatile enough to reach the cargo deck of any civilian or military aircraft utilized in the defense transportation system. They are able to be quickly reconfigured for transport, making them deployable anywhere a C-130 can land. The air transportation career field grew in lockstep with America's development of its airlift fleet. Beginning with the C-87s, C-47s, and C-54s of the 1940s Army Air Transport Command, Port Dawgs started as flight clerks, keeping track of and loading high-value assets and manifesting personnel. As ATC created channel missions in the mid-1940s, transporters were responsible for all ground handling operations at en route and destination bases. When the Air Force took possession of the C-124 Globemaster II in 1950, cargo handlers were assigned to air crews, becoming the loadmasters we know today. Today's contingency response airmen are on the tip of the spear of the airlift mission throughout the globe. The air transportation career field has cemented this long history of accomplishments through formal organizational change. When the 618th Tanker Airlift Control Center was established, air transportation experts were immediately assigned to the airlift cell to provide their expertise in the mission execution process. The Expeditionary Center at Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst now includes a large number of aerial port operations courses prepared and taught by a small cadre of highly experienced port dogs to hundreds of active duty and Air Reserve component members from bases around the globe. Throughout the past 70-plus years, building on roots in the U.S. Army's Air Transport Command to today's Air Mobility Command superports and contingency response wings, Port Dogs have answered their nation's call. They have conducted the dignified transfer of human remains, loaded distinguished visitors, helped wounded patients and passengers. These unsung heroes always find a way to get the mission done so critical air assets are fully utilized. Their actions equip our nation with the speed and flexibility necessary to make rapid global mobility a reality every day. Aerial Port Airmen, Port Dogs, have exhibited endless dedication and remarkable innovation to produce the mobility mission critical effects while supporting America's national security interests. It is only fitting that the Airlift Tanker Association recognize these hard-working airmen by induction into the Mobility Hall of Fame.